Satnam. Okay. I know. I said I was going to do these every week. And it's been more than that. It's been 40 days. Hopefully, you've been working with the radiant body activation for 40 days plus. It's been 40 days plus. I know. Hopefully, you've been doing the radiant body activation. Hopefully, you've been doing the Ajayale chant for these 40 days. So, you are big and luminous and radiant. You are protected. You're calling in these golden opportunities. You're calling in prosperity, luck, relationships, everything that you want to experience. You're able to impact the matrix field with your luminance. If not, it's okay. These things are recorded, so no pressure. You can keep up. So today, we're working with the subtle body. Today we're going to activate your subtle body, the ninth body. All my nines out there, all my people like the number 9. It's a good number. Let's think about the word subtle, because even the word is subtle. Even the word is like not spelled at all like it's pronounced, right? If I ask you, define subtle, what does subtle mean? You'll be like, it's like when, because it's subtle. Even the word itself is completely subtle. So, by definition, let's see, what's the definition? I wrote it down. So delicate or precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe. So, when something is subtle, you're usually only talking about its subtlety because it impacted you, right? Whenever you're bringing up something, how subtle something was, it's because it affected you. And you're like, I didn't even notice because it's so subtle. Like, and I'm going to say subtle so much that it's going to make me sick. But, so that is the subtle body. We started at the 10th body, the radiant body. And the subtle body is the 9th body. You can think of it in layers if the visual helps. But the subtle body actually permeates all 10 bodies. It goes throughout all of them. And it concentrates at the bottom of your feet. It's very powerfully pulled and collected right at the soles of your feet, which I'm pretty sure is why the soles of your feet are called your soul. Your souls. That's why they're called that. So your first body is your soul body. And when you die, you lose, I can't do math. When you die, you lose 8 bodies. You lose them, you leave them. They and recollect wherever they need to be. You lose 8 bodies, but your soul body and your subtle body travel together through the ether. Your subtle body actually carries your soul. It's its chariot. So the subtle body is the body that you use to astral project. It's the body that you use to traverse through different dimensions. And because it's always traveled with your soul, it carries all the experiences of your soul. So your subtle body is your connection to the Akashic records, to your personal Akashic umbrella. Let's see. I have some footnotes that I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So, when you choose, you die, you lose this physical body, you lose your pranic body, you lose the mental bodies, you lose the aura and the arc line. But your subtle body and your soul body will begin to travel and try to break through the earth sphere, to go into the ether, to find your guides, to reconnect with source, to negotiate new soul contracts. If you want to have a different experience somewhere else, figure out what kind of debt you've collected, whether it be karmic or dharmic, all that stuff goes with your subtle and your soul body dependent on your experience now. So this is a very important body. This is like your magical body, and it's lived all of your lives. It's if we activate this body and then we begin to develop it. Like, I want you guys to remember these activations let's think about the word activate. It activates, it's a catalyst. It begins your relationship with it, your awareness of it. You're unaware of your 10 body system allows all of these bodies to kind of atrophy, right? They're being used in an unconscious way where you have to have them to exist, but you don't have any awareness of them, like having an iPhone with the app on it that's running all your behind the scenes stuff, but you don't know how to use that app. You don't know anything about it, right? When we begin to activate these things, you're like, oh, that's there. Now let me start to develop it. Let me start to develop a relationship with it. Let me start to figure out what it does, how I can manipulate it and use it to my highest good. So we're just activating now. For further development, then we can do that too. So okay, let's see. Your access to your Akashic records, I got that. The subtle body allows horsepower to your radiant body. It is like the wattage of your radiant body. So if your radiant shield all around you is luminance, the subtle body, the power within the subtle body would give that light force to spread. So I see the physicalities of consciousness. I can see energy, and working with my teachers allowed me to have words and titles for what I've been seeing. So when I see certain people, most people, I'll take that back. Most starseeds have an auric field that's about 9 feet around them. Most people who are not awake, who are not starseeds, who are very conditioned, who are programs of this slave ship called Earth, barely have. They have about a 1 foot glow. They probably have the same auric field as an object, as an inanimate object, as my microwave. Everything has an aura. An airplane has an aura. A photo has an aura. A candle has an aura. A plant has an aura. I've seen some plants that have larger auric fields than the sleepers. So some people have the auric field of a glass bottle. Most starseeds have an auric field that's about 9 feet wide. 9 feet all around them from their body. But that's not the limit. So I've seen people's auras that go 25 miles. I've worked with people whose auric field, as we begin to work and as they begin to progress, as they begin to develop these relationships with their energetic body and utilizing them, have an auric field that I haven't seen the edge of. So there's no limit. It's like a muscle. It's like a muscle that doesn't have this body, this physical body, the fifth body it's finite. It has a limit. Like, you can work out and work out and work out and work out. You'll get bigger, 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 bigger. But there's going to be a point where you're not going to get any more gains, right? Your energetic field doesn't have that. So the more you dive into your spiritual practice, the more you dive into a relationship with these things, the bigger it gets. There can be no limit, right? And I'm pretty sure that's why some of the beings that we work with, the avians, 20 feet tall, beings, the giants of Agartha, these humongous physical bodies that have an auric field that's even bigger, they need something. Their physical body has to contain that amount of power that they withhold, right? So when we see the Pleiadians even, who are like towering above us, and that doesn't mean that you have to be really tall to be really powerful, but I'm just saying, I think that there is a manifested expression of how mighty they are. right? When you see the pictures of the Anunnaki versus the Egyptians that they were teaching, it's like, they're like, whoa, right? Because they're huge. And I don't think that that was a creative expression. I think those were very literal. So if you have a powerful, subtle body, you have a lot of finesse. You guys like that term, finesse? If you finesse somebody, you got something from them and they didn't even realize you were manipulating them. That's kind of a nasty way of saying it, but that leads to the definition of subtlety. If you are dealing only in your physical form, that's when you get exhausted. That's when I have to work hard. I have to study hard. I have to burn the candle at both ends. I have to get out there and pound the pavement. All this jargon that goes around the slave ship mentality of it's all physical. There's no finesse. You're bulldozing your way through life, and that can work, right? There's more than one way to skin a cat. You can become very successful by working with that bull-headed, I'm just gonna plow my way through life, but it's exhausting because you're working with the tip of the iceberg. You're moving the tip of the iceberg, and you're not realizing that the subtlety beneath the surface of the water, that's where the iceberg, that's where the mass of the iceberg is. That's your spiritual experience versus this finite experience that we have. Your body is the literal peak above the water, and the rest of your bodies are what's unseen below the water, and that's really what's running the show. So when you are tapping into subtle realms and subtle energies, I think sometimes we can get confused when we think it means weaker. Subtle does not mean weaker. Subtle has just as much, if not more, impact as a physical impact. But what's even cooler is you don't realize it's impacting you until it impacts you. Like, let's say, for instance, air sign. If you were born under an air sign, your subtle body is going to be naturally more pronounced than, say, an earth sign or a water sign. So, like, air is very subtle. I can't see it unless it's cold. There's certain instances where I can't see it. I can't really feel it unless there's the wind blowing. I don't really know it's there. It's a very delicate impact, but if it was gone, I would know instantly. If oxygen was no longer around me, it would take seconds for me to realize. That's what I'm talking about when I say subtle body. You don't really realize it's there, but if it was gone, you would. And if it's affecting you, you don't really realize it's affecting you, right? Until you have developed these sensitivities to these things. If you start to work with your energetic bodies, you'll realize when somebody's pushing their subtle body at you. You'll realize if somebody is talking to you through a certain chakra that's making you have a certain emotional experience that's kind of creating the reaction that they want. You'll start to realize because you are doing it too. Hopefully, we'll get to working with the chakras. Okay, so if you have a developed subtle body, it gives you connection to your Akashic records. It allows you to see the unseen. It allows you to know the unknown. It allows you to hear the unheard. It's putting wattage in the radiant body. It allows you to sense your infinity, your reality within and without the physical. If you have a weak subtle body, you're usually naive and very easily fooled. A weak subtle body can be like our beautiful Capricorns, sometimes unintentionally crude, unintentionally rough in nature, blunt in a way that nobody really enjoys your presence, but you might not get why, right? Because you don't have any sensitivities to anything subtle. You're all impact, and then you don't really get why you might be offending somebody all the time. If you have a weak subtle body, you'll be restless. You'll feel very misunderstood. You'll feel very frustrated with this experience. Nobody understands me. It's really because since everybody is everybody, you don't understand anybody. It's not really nobody understands me. It's more I don't understand them. Okay? And that's because you have no relationship with the subtle energies that run this planet, that run the people that you're dealing with. Okay, so we use this body for astral projection. All of my lucid dreamers, astral projecting, dream walkers, shamanism, healing, anything that you do that works with subtle realms, you're going to want to develop and activate and cultivate a relationship and manufacture a very powerful subtle body. And the more powerful your subtle body becomes, the more powerful all your bodies become, because it goes through all of them. And it also brings you much closer to your soul. If you have a powerful subtle body, the thing that is carrying your soul body, then you have a very powerful connection with your soul. And let's see, that's it. So we're going to do a practice. We're going to do a practice that will develop your subtle body for you to do every day. And we're going to do an activation, a light language activation to work with. And that's it. Let's get to it. Okay, so let's jump into our practice first to amplify and bring our awareness to our subtle body. It's probably begging for our attention. We're going to use the mantra. I'm not going to go too much into the mantra. Just know that it's a magical mantra. And it was a practice that was given to children who showed capacities for psychic gifts. So the mantra is, I love these practices. I love these technologies so much. So it's so hard for me not to go like about the ins and outs of them, but I'm just gonna jump into it because, you know, Gemini, so I can talk to you all day. So the mantra is sa re sa sa, sa re sa sa, sa re sa sa, sa rung rung, R-U-N-G, hare re hare hare, hare re hare hare, hare re hare hare, hare rung, also R-U-N-G, rung. That's really important. So as we're saying, you're going to start with your hands at prayer position at your navel. You're going to go up. Sa re sa sa, sa re sa sa, sa re sa sa, sarang. When you get to sarang, let your tips of your fingers be at your third eye. And when you say sarang, I want you to open the hands up into a lotus. So do you see my hands? The thumbs are touching, the pinkies are touching, the butts of the palms are touching, and the fingers are spreading as wide as they can, right here at your third eye. And then when we go to Hare, you're going to invert the hands, turn them so the backs are touching. Hare, 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 hare. Get back to the navel. Hare, 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 rung. Juliana knows this. I know that's gonna make her laugh. Okay, she did that for like 40 days when we first started working because she's such a powerful psychic, and now look at her. She's amazing. Okay. Sa re sa sa, sa re sa sa, sa re sa sa, sarang. Open to the lotus. Hare re hare 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 re hare 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 re hare 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 rung. Back to prayer at the navel. Before we begin, we're going to tune in to call in the wisdom, protection, and guidance of the Ascended Masters of this lineage with the Adi Mantra. We're going to say Ong Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times. And then we are going to say Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siddhi Gurudev Name. And if you don't know what I'm saying, don't worry about it. Sorry, I have to adjust the camera. If you don't know what I'm saying, don't worry about it. Because if you do this for 40 days like you're supposed to, you will. You'll get it. It's really easy. I think that's good. I don't know, it's rocking. All right, ready? So let's tune in. Rub the hands together to make heat. Make sure you feel heat between your palms. This is opening and balancing both sides of your aura when you do this. When you see people do this, when they're talking about money, right? Bring the thumb joints to the sternum. Take a big inhale through the nose. Hold the breath. Pull up the root lock, the rectum, the sex organs, like you're pulling up to stop urination, and start moving the energy up your spine, out of the top of your crown. Exhale. Another deep inhale through the nose. Pull everything up, roll the eyes up and in, look at the brow point. Hold the breath. And exhale. And inhale to tune in. Take a deep inhale. Press the palms together. Place your prayer to connect with your subtle body in this protected space, and exhale. Inhale and place yourself in 4 radiant pillars of white light, right in the center of 4 pillars of the brightest white light. Adgurename, Jukajgurename, Satgurename, Sri Guru Devainame. Adgurename, Jukajgurename, Satgurename, Sri Guru Devainame. Adgurename, Jukajgurename, Satgurename, Sri Guru Devainame. Inhale. Hold the breath. Pull the root lock up. Pull the energy up the spine, out of the top of the head. Hold and exhale. My camera's dipping. Interesting. We need it to be this far apart so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's begin with our practice. Hands at the navel in prayer. We have some friends coming in. Okay, let's begin. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 rang. Hare re hare 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 re hare 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 re hare 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 rang. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 rang. Hare re hare 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 re hare 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 re hare 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 rang. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. sa re sa 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 ra. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa 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 re sa sa re sa sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Sa re sa re sa ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Hara re hara 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 re hara hara re hara hara ram. Satnam. Okay. So now just relax. That practice you just did was a very powerful practice. That's gonna jumpstart your subtle body a week. So it's up now. And we're going to blast it with some Andromedan light language to activate it, to bring it to its, I don't want to say 5D template because it's going to ascend and ascend and ascend, but to bring it to a higher template than where it is now, and just to activate it to its fullest potential, which is your divine, creative particles of the adamantine essence, right? So just relax, close your eyes, and come to your breath. Try to only let the breath come through the nose while the activation is proceeding, in and out of the nose. And hold all of your conscious awareness in the soles of your feet, where the greatest concentration of your subtle body lives. Bring all your awareness to the bottom of your feet, not your Earth Star chakra, not below your feet, the literal bottoms of your feet. And feel your breath moving in and out of this space. Feel the breath coming in through the bottom of the feet and feel it releasing. Bringing your awareness to your subtle body. Bringing in that beautiful, beautiful royal blue light from the household of the Andromedan. Mol al entias alak oro teamiashin kiant ora teamet ikentiamet akentiamet lele kinkioro toyamas. Santias I shikimiant arroto yamahanda kayalart I kemianik dandiadur o shandiami ilaratias. Dias angele kiant uret. Lele kiant uret ayas ile kayamanti kiking. Sachi kiant ura salarte yemash antikimiash. Wachi kiant ot al arik amiashin kiantentono. Tantior utiamash ikimian tantior saliantor tantilar tuk amirar vech amilar deas anchekemelon hurat inyanorod malalakion sienorat Umbrotoya jele kwartekel istentantashe kurat yamahart ik inkar uchik inkar sariat ikemirat tisantor utayamach ikentiant isentor malartayes tik androtayamach intorotayama alakartayasink hianur umbert alek in hioturte miashin tante melon hiurutu yumbaratia sinkara ur shu 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 mechientantur at inkimbirat isarat mintantaratagas ikinkionurut. The focus in the bottom of the feet. Your activation is almost complete. Hold the focus there. Keep moving the breath in and out. Working the muscles of the subtle body. These muscles that you have not touched since you've been born. Feel what it feels like to breathe through it. Mantartiak inyant ura sayashinkyant ratayasikinkyant urotayamikinkyant. Sarteya shinkiantin yuhroteya maantarakar nishikian yoro o pompayat ia kantitiroso chuntrateya kantitiroso malakaratemias mechentarateya kayet mechiant arakemianton uparat soraneantianai Kiatia Melo Sach Arta Kiat Ikimirat Urotoyas Tiant Aratiamach Inkiantent Urmeas. And inhale and hold the breath. Hold the breath, gather the light at the bottom of your feet. Mat intiala kumprut, uyashikintiant inkerat kumprut, vecharla kanyantik ase, ketien pirikiant ase, ketikemirikiant puret, and exhale. Sealing your field. Melartayasi shikimiti impurotoyama anchikentirat. Thanking you for your presence today from me and the Andromedans. I hope you utilize this practice every day for the next 40 days. And I'm so excited for your journey with this. You have the most beautiful day ever.